This is a raging debate at every dinner table across America right now. And you have spent more than 2 decades studying remote work. What is the data telling you about the biggest tensions and how these will or can ever be resolved?
The data they're staggering and they're very clear. People want work-life flexibility. That's the term, work-life flexibility. They want autonomy, and they've earned the right to ask for this because in the last 15 months or so, they've evidenced that they can be very productive while working from home without managerial oversight. So now employers, on the other hand, want people back, and people are asking, why? I don't want the commute. I don't want the expenses to get to work, to eat at work, to have coffee at work. I don't want the non-work life friction. I want to have dinner with my family every night. Why do you want me there? For what reason?
And yet there are companies that are saying, you have to come back. Are those companies going to be on the wrong side of history? Are they going to lose talent? I mean, there are certainly legitimate reasons to want people to be in the same place. But as you say, there are so many workers that have a different idea in mind.
Yes, there's no doubt that many companies, particularly in the finance sector, are wanting people back in the office and in person. And we're talking about Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan, Chase, and Morgan Stanley, et cetera. But they are unique in this regard. Other companies like PepsiCo, not necessarily in Silicon Valley, and even the US Patent Office are saying, we will give you flexibility, but let's have a framework that will allow people to do this effectively. Now, the question is, what does that framework look like? And how can we make sure that we retain autonomy and flexibility? You saw that Apple announced their return to work policy, which was an every other day policy, and experienced backlash on the same day that they announced their back to work policy or framework. So it's really important to be very clear. Why do you want people back? Is it for collaboration? Is it for innovation? Is it for socializing? Because if you ask people to come back in the office to do the exact same thing that they could be doing at home, they're saying, no, thank you. They've discovered that work-life flexibility can exist. Work-life balance was an aspiration that they could never achieve, but now there's a new approach and there is no turning back. This is about looking forward, and those who are trying to go backward will be surprised.
It was really interesting to see Tim Cook present that plan and hear workers still unhappy with it. I wonder, for the companies like Goldman that are on, the one extreme of the spectrum, do you think they lose workers? I mean, what happens if a company takes that extreme of a position?
If we look at the emerging data to inform us, what we would see is people have been asked, if we paid you $30,000 more per year to come into the office 5 days a week, would you do that? 67% said no, thank you. There are also other studies that have indicated that 50% of employees who won't have the flexibility that they so desire in their professional arrangements will also quit. We are about to enter, according to Ernst & Young, one of the most competitive talent labor marketplace that we've ever seen in our career. So I am 100% convinced that this flexibility that people are asking for is going to be a hiring and retention mechanism. And those who are saying no to this will be at a disadvantage in the war for talent.
I know we've been doing this for the last year and a half, but it's still hard to sort of imagine what this looks like in normal times. So take me ahead, 3 years, 5 years. Does the sort of workplace dynamic, is it completely different than what we've known for the last several decades? And what does it look like?
Emily, that's one of my favorite things to do, to like imagine, right? The next 3 years or more. I think hybrid 2.0 is going to introduce physical spaces that are different than the ones that we're familiar with, meaning that work will be a place for socializing and collaboration and also comfortable, the same comforts that we're seeing in our homes. Hybrid 3.0, I am firmly convinced, is going to be a period where we're going to see the digital revolution play out in our workplaces. It's the nature of work that's changing. This is the thing that the companies that are demanding people to come back are not embracing. The nature of work is changing. So hybrid 3.0 is not about collaborating with Sal and Sally. It's going to be collaborating and working with AI bot. So if we get this right now, we're actually preparing for the world of machine learning and artificial intelligence, data-driven work experiences, and of course, automation as well. This is what I see 3 years from now, 5 years from now.